at the beginning, you let them have access, and then the officers know they can call on any one of us.
Hello viewers, welcome to the 5th episode of the Kcaa Ask Your Aviator. My name is Flora Wakolo Kcaa, a Chief Air Traffic Control Officer within the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority. In this episode, we are celebrating the girl child as the globe celebrates the International Day of the Girl under UNICEF umbrella. It's about 25 years since the Beijing Declaration was adopted by the United Nations. And to celebrate the International Girl Child, we have 3 magnificent ladies who will be telling us their life in aviation so that the young girl out there can be encouraged and come and join this particular arena as some of us exit. Welcome. We have our first guest.
Hello viewers, my name is Beth Mengech. I am an Aeronautical Information Officer based at Kcaa.
Hello everyone, my name is Mary Kanuna Sindiga. I work at the East African School of Aviation, which is the training directorate of the Kenya Civil Aviation Authority, as a Chief Course Development Unit and ICAO focal point. Thank you.
Hello viewers, my name is Beth Mwakio, a Senior Air Transport Officer based at Kenya Civil Aviation Authority headquarters.
Thank you, ladies. Now, Mary, can you take us through your normal day routine at the East African School of Aviation?
Thank you, Flora. Actually, it's interesting you should ask, because my days are as different as each day. Sometimes I don't know how it will look like, but anyhow, on a typical day, working day for me at the East African School of Aviation, I usually get there shortly before 8 a.m. and I start by looking at my emails. And this is very important for me because, as an ICAO focal point, emails are the main model of communication, and timeliness is of essence. So after I go through the emails, then I have a short briefing with my team, the course development team, we call it at IASA, where we look at the day's work in terms of what we need to do today, what we did yesterday, and any adjustments that we need to make. Thereafter, I get engaged in meetings where I'm either a member of a committee or a chair of a committee. And shortly after that, I brief my supervisor, who is the director, the East African School of Aviation. After that, I spend most of the day working on the course design activities that are our core mandate as a course development unit. And in between, I'll probably make consultations with several other teaching departments whom we guide in terms of course design, course review, and any other activities that they may require from us. Then in the evening before I go home, I make sure I actually again go back to my emails, because there will be a lot of traffic there based on what courses we are teaching, or we are scheduling, or we are planning to schedule, and again respond to whomever has made contact with us. And that more or less wraps my day before I go home. Thank you.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. No wonder the East African School of Aviation has been ranked highest in Africa. Beth, kindly take us through the normal day at JKIA Aeronautical Information Office.
At the JKIA briefing office, we work in shifts. So my day typically begins either at 6:30 a.m. or at 6:30 p.m. So when I get to work, the first thing I do is to go through the operations logbook to see everything that was recorded at the period when I was off duty. And then from there, I have a look at all the current NOTAM to update myself.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If we can settle down. The agenda of the day, we are fairly behind. We have one regulation that we need to present, the draft Civil Aviation Certification of Air Navigation Services regulations. Once we present this regulation, then we will be able to present the subsequent regulation. We'll seek your indulgence so that we can be able to at least be able to push through these regulations and catch up on the day's activity. So without further ado, I'll welcome my colleague David, who's responsible for certification of air navigation service providers, to take us through a fairly short matrix, actually a one-page matrix, on the comments on these regulations. David.
Thank you so much, Lawrence, for the opportunity to make this presentation. Good afternoon to you all. As indicated, my name is David. I want to take you through one-page matrix, basically on the comments that we received from the service provider, and also internally in terms of the certification of air navigation service providers. Basically, to give a brief explanation, is that the certification of air navigation service regulations is are responsible for the oversight of air navigation services in terms of the requirements that they ought to meet in terms of application of a certificate, the documents that are required, the approval of the same, installation of equipment, and relevant provisions that are provided. It's a fairly short provision and regulation. So as regards to the 2022 draft, we received only one comment, which came from the Aviation Security Department in terms of development of the security program. As you are aware, the security programs are anchored in Annex 17. And initially, the gap was that there was a reference to the CNS regulations in terms of the CNS provider requiring this particular provision, and also requiring the CNS provider to develop a program that is relevant to the civil aviation security regulations. So towards the review of this particular recommendation and comment, the department realized that so as to capture this particular provision correctly, the right regulation that ought to be amended is the certification of air navigation service providers regulations, and a draft was introduced in Regulation 23 that now says the air navigation service provider shall establish and implement appropriate security provision to meet the requirements of the civil aviation security regulations, and B, develop and implement measures to protect air navigation facilities, personnel,